Alright guys, got a 2015 Nissan Versa here. About to get ready to change the oil filter, of course. And we're gonna put some new plugs in it. Alright, so pretty much the next step was we jack the car up. Make sure your jack is always pointed up, because you don't want it laying down. You might trip over it, or someone might trip over it, knock the jack from under the car, put you in a bad spot. Next step, man, you come over here. What I like to do is take this off. This is where you will put your oil back in the car with your funnel and everything right here. I normally just take it off just so I got a clean airway from top to bottom, so when I pull out the drain plug, it just gives me a decent, more of a quicker pour out. Make sure your oil pan is up under the car. I got mine right there. About to get ready to push it up under there, and then I'm going ahead and break the oil pan bolt. Not break it, break it loose, of course. Which that's going to be right here. That's your oil pan bolt right there. I'm going to go on ahead and get that broken loose. Make sure your oil pan, always give yourself a little bit of extra room. So as you can see, where the bolt is at, where I got the pan, you want to make sure both of those are pretty much in a good spot, because when you do it, notice that the oil plug is pointing to the back of the car. So you want to have your oil pan a little bit closer to the back of the car, so when you pour out, it's going to shoot straight out, straight into your pan. Then as it gets a little bit on the slow drip, it's going to start to come back in. And at that point, you might want to pull your pan just a little forward. This is some basic stuff, man. But we're going to go ahead and put it about right here. And get ready to break this thing loose. Alright, so we're at that point now where I'm at my slow drip. Going into the pan. We got no drippage. No drippage anywhere, man. No drippage. I like to at least try to hold on to the oil plug. The only thing that's gonna get wet is my little couple fingers here. Let that thing drip for a little bit. It'll do her thing. Give it a few minutes. Let her drip on out. I'm gonna give it like another 5 minutes. Let it drip out. Then I'm gonna go ahead and plug her back. Just gonna put just a little bit of Loctite on here. Just a little bit of Loctite on here. We're gonna get it put back in. Get it tightened up pretty good. Now don't over tighten it now. This stuff right here, it's unforgiving if you over tighten. You mess around and this whole end right here be still sitting in your ratchet. Also, after you get this thing all done dripping and everything, once you put your bolt back in, you want to make sure you wipe off the area pretty good. And then pretty much right back here on the Nissan Versa, it's an SV model 1.6 liter, 2015. This is going to be where your oil filter is. So right there, oil filter right here. A lot of times you can just get it off with your hand. Pretty much should be pretty much about that tight, maybe just a smidge tighter. But I got a Pacific tool, just like a little cup that you put basically on the back end right here on the grooves, and you can get a ratchet on there, which I'm probably going to have to come from the top. And then you can loosen up and get it out, and then I'll show you what you do to those once you get them out. Alright guys, this is the piece I was talking about right here. Try me, baby. But yeah, it's this piece right here for more smaller oil filter cars. You got pretty much like two setups. You got this setup right here up to this little divot right here. And then you got this drop-in section right here. Mine is actually gonna take this drop-in section. That's gonna be an option right there. And of course, You do have these right here that you can use. They got rubber ones, and you got these here for different sizes. This for the smaller application right here. All you gotta do is get it on there, pretty much pull it back this way. It's gonna compress in, get you on your grip. Then you go ahead and get your oil filter loose. But also remember now, when you're getting on this thing here, when you're going to go loosen it up, make sure you have your oil filter right up underneath it. Mine's this right here, of course, still from doing the oil drain. You see she done stopped dripping completely now. A little bit of a drip right there, but that's just a little bit of runoff. She's pretty much done and empty now. You're gonna have a little bit of oil that comes from up out of here. You're gonna want to have your oil pan right up underneath it. And just when you take it off, it's gonna kind of, go ahead and kind of just angle it down. Let the oil drip into the oil pan, and then go ahead and pull it away. And then when you're done, you're about to put on the new one. I'll show you what you do with that. All right, guys. Well, we got the oil filter off here. This is gonna be your old one. That's gonna be your new one. You see, I moved everything. Not a drip of oil anywhere. Nice and clean, like that on your garage floors. All right, so we got this off right here. We got to get ready to put this one on. So one thing you want to do first is go on ahead and dab with your finger on some oil here. Rub some oil off of there. Finger good, nice and coated with oil. And you want to go around in a circle. So this seal does its job. Not just a light layer. I like to kind of go a little heavy. Where it looks nice and shiny all the way around. Okay. As you can see, nice and shiny all the way around. Now that's ready to go back on, and then you'll use your tool that I just showed you, the two, either one, whichever one you prefer, depending on the spot that you have to get to. You go on ahead and screw it on. Get it on pretty much always tight with your hand. You want to give it just a little bit nudge tighter, and then you'll be done with that right there. Got the oil plug back in. About to go ahead and give it this last little tight down. Got a little bit of Loctite on there that I wanted on there. We got the new oil filter on. Tighten it up as tight as we could with our hand. Gave it a little bit more of a snudge, a little tight fit on there. Make sure we don't get no oil leaks. Wiped it off a little bit. Wiped it off. You can wipe down here a little bit. Got it all wiped up just like I said. So we're gonna go on ahead and tighten this oil plug up. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and let the car down. Put some oil in her. Let her run for just a few minutes. Make sure she ain't dripping from here or either here. But mostly right here is probably going to be the most important, to make sure you're not dripping. Make sure you didn't cross thread and you got it tight enough. Here's just bait. I mean, you can cross thread that too, but you'll know because it won't go on all the way. So you don't cross thread that. Get that on pretty tight. Get it snug tight with the little tool, and you're done. And then after we get this done, we're going to be changing the spark plugs in the vehicle. Alright, come to your jack, sitting in the upright position so nobody can get tripped up. Then what you want to do is give it a slight little ease twist to the left, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Don't loosen it up too quick and have the car drop straight down. Loosen up just enough to let the car creep down. Here we go. Loosen up a little bit to make sure the jack all the way disengaged. A little shake. That's it. Alright, we are at the end point here. And then poured it in, so I just let it kind of turn over a little bit and watch for the last little bit, a couple of drips that come out. As you can see, it's dripping a little bit right there. I just let it sit a few minutes, man. You know, every drop counts. We're gonna go on ahead and give this another 2 or 3 minutes, let it drip out. We're gonna pull the funnel out, put the cap back on. Then we're gonna go ahead and start her up, man. Let her run for a few minutes and make sure she ain't dripping. Alright guys, this is gonna be for the second half of the video here. 2015 Nissan Versa 1.6 liter SV. Gonna be changing the spark plugs in this thing. I'm gonna walk you in. First thing you gotta know is we gotta get this piece here out of the way so we can get to the spark plugs that are right up under here on top of the head. You can see one that sits right here. That's a coil pack. I have to take these out. Got 4 of them. One right there. You got 3 more coming down. Now, get you in here a little bit. You can see this. You got 4 screws. You got one right here, and then you got another one that sits right down here, and it pretty much, you know, 2 more that I can't really get the camera to actually see, but you got 4 of these screws that sits right here. You got a screw that sits right here, and you got a screw that sits right there. You gotta get all of these screws out. Make sure you don't crimp no hoses. Get your hoses disconnected and whatnot. And you get this whole piece pulled out, and then we're gonna let you see what the actual plugs look like and where they're sitting. Alright guys, so now we got it all disconnected. Got a few holes. Just gotta disconnect. A couple on this side. Just actually, you got one that goes right here. And then you got one that goes right there. Get those taken off. And then you got this one that you can see that's right here. Got that one disconnected. I pulled that one back, didn't need to. All it is you're just gonna have this a little loose so you can maneuver around it. And then you can go ahead and already got one pulled out. Clean hole. Got the coil pack pretty much sitting right here. In other words, spark plug wire. We got that set right here. And that's the plug. Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and get the new ones installed. And we done. Alright, got her outside. Time to start her up. Yes, sir. She is running. Holla at me.